All right, welcome back, good people. On this video, I want to share with you, I guess we'll say it's a poem, maybe not a poem, what would I call it? A story, that's what I would call it. I want to share with you a story that I was listening with a guy by the name of Wayne Dyer, probably about 5 years ago. And as I was listening to the story, it had such an impact that I had to stop and just copy it right quickly so that I could share it with other people later on in life, because it had that type of impact on me. And I was thinking, you know what? Other people would like to hear this too, because I know a lot of people didn't listen to Wayne Dyer, right? Because Wayne Dyer is kind of a deep, he's passed on now, but he was very, very deep with some of the things that he would share with people. But he was very influential. Had a really, really great system. So as I read this to you, just kind of sit back in your chair and think about what's actually being said, because if you receive it the way I received it, feel free to share it with your audience or the people that you share your information with, because everybody is not the same, but some people like certain things. So it begins. It's titled, "We Must Learn to Die While We're Alive." That title alone caught my attention, right? So it's prefaced by saying, we must indeed die while we're alive, in order to be able to look back at our awakening consciousness and see ourselves trapped in our cage, which in our case is our body. And then we will see how unnecessary it is to remain caged. To die while we're alive gives us the only opportunity we'll ever have to get outside of this package that houses us temporarily. It begins: a traveler from India went to Africa to acquire some local products and animals. And while in the jungle, he saw thousands of beautiful multicolored talking parrots. He decided to capture a talking parrot and take it back as a pet. At home, he kept his parrot in a cage, fed him, gave him wonderful seeds and honey, played music for his pet, and generally treated him very well. When it was time for the man to return to Africa 2 years later, he asked his parrot if there was any messages he could deliver to his parrot friends back in the jungle. When the parrot told his master that he was very happy in his cage and that he was enjoying each day, and to convey his love. Well, the traveler arrived back in Africa. He delivered the message to the parrots back in the jungle. Just as he finished his story, a parrot with tears welling up in his eyes fell over dead. The man was alarmed, and he decided that the parrot must have been very close to the parrot in the cage, and that this was probably the reason for his sadness and demise. When the traveler returned to India, he told his pet what had happened. As he finished his story, the pet parrot's eyes welled up with tears, and he kneeled over dead in his cage. The man was astounded, but he figured that his pet died from the despair of hearing of the death of his close friend back in the jungle. The trader opened the cage and tossed the dead bird outside and onto the trash heap. Immediately, the pet parrot flew up on a branch in a tree outside. The trader said to him, "So you're not dead after all. Why did you do that? You tricked me." The parrot responded, "Because the bird back in Africa sent me a very important message." "What was the message?" he asked. "He told me, if you want to escape from your cage, you must die while you're alive." How cool is that? Right. We have to learn from that, right? That was, when I heard that, that had an impact on me. It was very, very deep. And I said, the same thing you're saying. Ooh, I like that. I got to copy that down, right? And share that with somebody. All right, so I hope you gained some perspective about that. Now, to continue on with this video, I'm just going to share some things about how I've come to where I am today very quickly. When I first started this 200 videos in 365 days, what I wanted to do consciously, which means on purpose to me, was to complete this mission. I wanted to see if I could do it. Because I've done a 50 videos in 50 days, I've done a 90 videos in 90 days, but I've never done 200 videos in 365 days. I don't even know how that number came to me. But one of the things that I've learned so far, and this week I'll be completing video from 60 to 65. I do 5 videos per week, and I create them on Saturday, share them throughout the week to different formats or different platforms that I belong to. And what that's doing, that's putting the reach out to a lot of different places. So you can imagine that over 200 videos over a 365-day period, the reach that this will have, right? People that don't know me today will know me tomorrow, right? Because that's my objective. That's what I want to get out there. And as I'm doing that, I'm actually creating buy-in, if you will. I'm building know, like, and trust from my audience, which initially you probably weren't my audience. But if you're watching these videos now, you're probably becoming my audience. You're probably becoming somebody who knows who I am. You get the opportunity to like who I am or trust what I say. But I'm not really a person who wants to tell you that you can trust me. I don't want to do that. I want to show you that you can trust me, right? My system is not based on how much money I can make. Although it is a business and it does generate income, and that's partly why I do it, right? But the main part is that I love doing what I do. I love gaining information and sharing information. And since I like it like that, I've created platforms that as I gain that information, I can format that information and introduce that information to different audiences, right? That is the online industry. That is how this system works incredibly well, right? Because it's actually very inexpensive to set everything up. And you can set things up one step at a time, right? You don't have to have 10 or 15 platforms that you're introducing content to. You can only have one at first. Then you can have 2, then 3, right? And over time, because see, as I create these 200 videos in 365 days, it's taking a year to get that accomplished, right? It's not like, a couple of months you'll have that done. Oh no. That is not the way it works. And that's not the way it will work for you. But it will work for you. You just start out small, right? Like I said, I started out very, very small. I was doing like 3 videos in 1 week. I would start out with 1 video per week. And then I start getting more and more confident, more and more sophisticated, if you will, with the actual techniques involved. And that elevated me to another level, right? And it's all about levels. Understand that. Where you are today, you won't be tomorrow if you start. Where you are today, you will be tomorrow if you don't. That's the way it works, right? And that's not really hard to wrap your mind around. It's just the way it works. If you put in the time, you will get the results. You may not get the results you want, but your level will have increased from what I like to call the layman, who is someone who doesn't have a concept or understanding of that, right? Because think about this, if I've written, let's say, 3 books, just 3 books on any topic, if you haven't written any books, how could you expect to know the things that I know about writing a book? How does that work? It doesn't. It does not compute, and it doesn't work like that. So put in some work, doing what you like, and then people around you will start to say, hey, look at Larry. I think I see something different about the way he walks or the way he talks. You know, seems to be more confident about something. What does he have going on that I don't know about? Right? Remember, it's your life, and only you can write the story. And you are writing the story. How do you want that to end? Right? You need to take that in consideration too, because that will be a legacy. We leave a legacy. Right? My legacy, the way I want my legacy to be is I want to create a process and a path for my lineage to follow. Or that they can view and they'll say, you know what, that was my grandfather, that was my uncle, that was my cousin, that was my friend, right? People who know me will say that was my mentor, that was my whatever. Whatever I was to them that allowed them to be who they are, to step their game up, I welcome that. Bravo, right? But that's my objective. That's what I want to accomplish with these videos, and that's what I want to accomplish with my life. Now, with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this story. That was a fantastic story. Would you agree? Okay, well, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next video.